Welcome, welcome, welcome to Elevate Your Game. My name is Mrs. Denise Parker. I am the Managing Director for Internships and Careers at National College Resources Foundation, and I'm here to elevate you and encourage you. I am super excited by what's coming, what's happening in our future, what's happening for your future, and it all ties back to your voice. Your voice is very important. As a young person, as a person of color, as a person that represents a certain culture, gender preference, you name it, it all matters. We here at National College Resources Foundation want to see you guys succeed, and all your stories matter to the future of this great country and the world. Today's special guest is somebody who is now a signature. We're having a signature conversation with her. I'm going to say it right. It's about everything that we're doing in relationship to social activism and political awareness. And she's now leading a seminar in our Black College Expos and our college expos about the power of your voice. So I'm super excited to invite her on. But before we get started, we're going to make some announcements. Yay! Announcement number 1. First of all, it's still Black History Month, and we are doing our expos. Black College Expo North Carolina is coming up. It's free. Black College Expo is going to be held in North Carolina and Gastonia, North Carolina, on Eastridge Drive. You will register at thecollegeexpo.org. There you can meet college recruiters, attend seminars such as how to find money for college, the 411 for student athletes, why attend an HBCU, booming careers, and how to start a business are some of those signature seminars. And of course, the power of your voice, our new signature seminar. This Black History Month, we have a nice fun fact. We want to acknowledge the great Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, sworn in as the 116th Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, making her the first Black woman and first former public defender to serve on the highest court in the nation. She graduated from Harvard Law with her sights to serve the greater good. We do have this wonderful quote. Let me see if I can just present it to you real quick. Hopefully we won't have any hiccups. I just want to share with you one of the things she said to our wonderful people out here.
Harvard Yard, my freshman year. As I mentioned,
Let's go right here. There we go.
I went to public school, and
if we can. If not, I'm gonna leave the link in the post.
I didn't know anything about Harvard until my debate coach took me there to enter a speech competition, and I thought,
all right, we are going to share it later. I'm going to leave it with you guys, and I will leave it in the chat so that you guys can have it. I'm super excited for that because it's amazing. So I'm going to leave it in the chat. But going back to our announcements, I don't want to have any hiccups with our stream. HBCU fellowship with the NBA. Learn the business of basketball. The deadline is coming up this Monday. You must be currently enrolled at an HBCU or completed a degree at an HBCU already or attending graduate school. So these are for people who are graduated or about to graduate from an HBCU and currently enrolled into graduate school. It can be at a graduate school outside of an HBCU. There's a limited of 3 job applications per person. So there might be various different roles that you guys can apply for, but there is a limit to 3 applications. It's due this Monday, February 20th. Please click that QR code to understand how to apply. All right, Warner Brothers Discovery Summer Internship Programs is one of our great partners, Warner Brothers Discovery. It's due March 10th. Enrollment is, for rising juniors and seniors 18 and over, minimum 2.8 GPA, which is pretty great. And most internships start a little higher. And you work on the Warner Media brands such as CNN, HBO, comedies, DC Comics, CN, and the Bleacher Report. Those are some of our great brands that Warner Brothers has. And so I really want you guys to look at all the different ways to apply. I'm pretty sure you can apply to more than one. And if you do, just alert us. Send me an email at denise@ncrfoundation.org. SoCal Gas Scholarship Program. It's also due in March. It's, if you're interested in energy and jobs in the energy sector, this is for those who are attending four-year college and university students. Community college students are encouraged to also apply, but you must live in the Southern California territory, which is the SoCal Gas territory. If your majors are STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, or anything in those related fields, finance, accounting, these people, you can definitely apply, but people who are applying and in healthcare fields are not eligible, unfortunately. You can also email one of our SoCal Gas contacts, B. Viramontes at socalgas.com for more questions. You can also click that QR code to find out additional information. 3.0 GPA is required for this one, okay? Okay. Special needs, network, core, fellowship. Click that QR code. This is a wonderful program. BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, college students, recent college grads, and clinicians. This is also a Southern California opportunity. We do not have a specific partnership with them, but we saw this and it was a great opportunity, especially for people who want to work with the ages of children between 0 to 3 with autism and developmental disabilities. If you're interested in that space, this might be an internship or opportunity for you. And of course, all the opportunities we have are paid. So definitely look into this. SNNLA.org. There's the phone number there if you need to find out more information, or scan the QR code to read the prompts on the website. Excellent. So now we're going to talk about it. The power of your voice. We are here to talk about it. And what does that mean? So let me get started to introducing our special guest, Miss Tamara Bates. Are you ready? Thumbs up. She's ready. Welcome to Elevate Your Game. How are you doing today?
What's up? I'm pretty good. I'm actually out at it's more of an advocacy rally right now, so I stepped away so I can come in and inspire some babies.
Exactly.
Because it's always that's how this work goes. So like I'm always on the go. So that's how it works for advocacy work. You're not just in a sit still space. So you always on the move. You're always in the community. You making sure that your voice is being heard, or you're offering your support to other people to make sure that their lives are inspired and enhanced by not only your presence but for the cause. And so that's pretty much that's why I enjoy doing what I do. So yeah.
Well, let's tell us who you are a little bit. I put your title up there, and why you joined NCRF. Why were you asked to be a part of our team, especially when we're traveling and doing these wonderful seminars?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, so for those who do not know me, I'm Tamara Bates, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. And pretty much I really didn't know what advocacy was until I got to college. Like I knew of it, but I didn't know of it. And I can vividly like go back to a point in my life where at a time, one of my uncles, he was involved in a situation with the officer back in Memphis. And my mom, one night she took us to the NAACP office and they was like strategizing on marching so that they could, pretty much talk about and uncover what was going on. with my uncle and the young man who had been accused of the situation that they were dealing with. And so, fast forward, when I got to college, I just said that I wanted to get more involved. And, for me getting involved, it pretty much like created a path for me to where I am now. So, I met Dr. Price back in 2016. No, actually, it was 2015 while I was a White House All Star, HBCU All Star for Philander Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Dr. Price, we just pretty much clicked. And she was like, "Hey, you're a superstar. You going somewhere. You are somebody." And fast forward, when I started working for Philander Smith College, that's when I heard about the Black College Expo. And so I was able to really, you know, entrench myself and understand, the system of what Dr. Price had created. And I won't say a system, but I'll say a collective, a community, what she created and what she wants to accomplish and how we can all get there together. And
And
so
you know what? She calls it a movement.
the
She
movement,
calls it
yeah,
a movement because we're
yeah,
trying to move everybody forward. Even if it's just
mhm,
an inch, we're moving them forward.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much when Dr. Price was able to really share her vision and the work that I've been doing and the work that I'm currently doing, because I'm the director of community engagement for the Tennessee Democratic Party, which we work with local elected officials and candidates and just individuals who have a heart and a mind to want to see democracy, you know, not even for unfold, but want to see democracy equal for all. And so I just took that and said, you know what, this is how I can bring my expertise, but also what I have learned and what I know and how I want to inspire. So that's pretty much like how I got involved in all that good stuff.
Excellent. And how old are you?
I didn't just turn 30, but I'm 30. So I'll
Oh
be,
my goodness. You just turned 30. Thank you. At 30, I was, still trying to figure out life and try to figure out how my voice matters. And
mm-hmm,
you are already doing the work in some pretty heavy places. And
mm-hmm.
where are some of the places that you have been, or people you worked with, so to speak? Can you name drop?
Some I can name drop, some I can't currently. Cause,
Okay. Okay. So she has a little clearance here that she has to keep it. Hush.
um, but I can say President Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, um, Secretary Hillary Clinton, President Bill Clinton, and those individuals came about um, by me attending the Clinton School. So President Clinton, with the work that I've done, on helping with, logistics. We pretty much did like a bus tour for the Clinton Foundation. And
Mhm.
so outside of really being, on the grounds with him and his team, and I'll say the foundation, that's just pretty much going in and making sure that what they are going to do. So what I mean by what they're going to do, like for an event, I make sure that it's set up. But before, as a student, because I graduated in May from the Clinton School, so I've been pretty much entrenched in Arkansas, Tennessee politics for like the last.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much how I've been able to really, be around a lot of elected officials, um,
Mhm.
is community leaders in that way.
Well, that's good. What was your major in college? You said you went to Philander Smith. What was your major?
My degree is in biology. So
So, how did a biology major just, what was that like transitioning from what did you want to be, become a doctor or a researcher or a scientist? What was how was the transition for you?
yeah, I actually wanted to become a sports medicine doctor. And when I played ball, I pretty much when I was in college, I decided to give it up because I knew that I wasn't going to like the WNBA or overseas to play. And I just kept trying to find something different to create a different career trajectory for myself. So I got in, just started being in the community. That's pretty much how I got started. Like going out to things and introducing myself to people. And so it's pretty much, as a student, people are more accepting of a student. And it's like, oh, you're young. It's like, well, come.
Right, right. I like that. People, when you are a student, a young person, people are more receptive and
Yeah,
accepting of your point of view, your views,
mhm,
because you're young
yeah,
and you have so much to offer the world with just your point of view, your perspective, as opposed to when you're older, the hardening of your heart,
yeah,
life experiences has kind of, jilted you a little bit more. And there's a different receiving of how somebody can hear, unless you have some type of standing or backing or political savviness. Then a young person is an easy person to listen to about their voice. We want to hear from you. Did you
right.
find that people wanted to hear from you growing up?
I mean, they didn't have a choice because at the end of the day, I mean, young people listen to young people, but also they disregard young people. But it was just one of those things where the young person is talking, let's listen to them. And it's just really like a double-edged sword. So it's just depending on what you're trying to accomplish versus coming in as a asset
Mhm.
to either the village that you're a part of or just being around. So it can go both ways. So I pretty much commanded my respect. You know, I've always people have poured into me, but also I'm not to say didn't go by the rules, but I also created my own path
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
person who, follow people. I follow my own path. I mean, with God, with myself, and the support of people that I have. I just like, all right, this is what works for me. This is how I'm gonna go about it. So
And what do you hope to gain, like with having a conversation at our seminars? Our demographic at our Black College and our college expos is between 16 through 25 that we're kind of like really sending and sharing resources with. However, there is also the families there who are bringing their younger kids who are
yeah,
under a certain age, and then everybody in the community is coming to kind of rally and support education and the positiveness of how an HBCU can enlighten a person. You doing this new seminar called The Power of Your Voice,
mhm,
why is it so important to have this conversation now? And what have these conversations? You've done it a couple times. It's
yeah.
been brand new this new expo season in 2023. And how has the conversation been since we've had so many different issues that awakened up to some of our seminars and awakened up to our expos?
Really, I just say it's simple. I mean, you want to inspire people to take action. You want to inspire people to use their voice and inspire people to understand that they're not alone. I think the system has been created now, or how it's, the narrative of the systems that your voice doesn't matter, your vote don't matter. However, there is unity and power in numbers. And so when everyone is on one accord and understanding how to move in strategic, that's when change happens. So that's pretty much how I look at it. Like, I don't get deep in it because you're talking to children and you're
Right.
talking, you know, people who not in this work every day. So you got to keep it at a minimum where it don't, first, and not to say frustrate them, but don't, overwhelm them.
Right, right, right. You don't want to overwhelm them. I know we kicked off the 2023 Expo season in Los Angeles, and we had some very important guests on your panel. Can
Mm-hmm.
you recall who was on your panel for the Power of Your Voice in Los Angeles?
Yeah, we had Laura King, Rodney King's daughter. We had Councilwoman Katina Menon, and then we had this young lady. I don't want to butcher her name, but we had a student that was on that panel. So everyone brought a unique perspective to the panel. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
here,
We're a unique group. We have so many different things that we want to raise light to. It's not just advocacy for HBCUs, which we're going to talk about in just a second, but also what's happening in our communities, what's happening with our economy that affects Black American wealth, and also what's happening with the future of ourselves.
Right.
There's so many different issues that are across the nation that are pretty much the same. It doesn't
Right.
matter what city or state you live in, but you're still dealing with some of the same issues that affect us. These conversations can be difficult, especially having with people authority in government and civil service. How do you be a person this young having these conversations, and how are you received when you're talking to people of authority about issues that affect the people who are on the ground?
I mean, you gotta let people who are in that space move into like an opportunity of allowing their voice to be heard. Because I think oftentimes people try to go in and speak on behalf of people. You just gotta be for them. So that's
Right.
pretty much how I see it. Is equipping people with tools so that they can go and inspire. Again, it's simple. Like, it's not deep. I think people try to make it too deep, especially because advocacy is different from politics. Advocacy is
Right.
not. So yeah,
Right.
it,
Right. So what do you mean advocacy is different from politics? How's that?
politics is politics. I mean, I don't have a definition for it, but advocacy is what you're fighting for. Politics is politics. Like,
Mm-hmm.
politics is a game. Like,
Mm-hmm.
see, is
Mm-hmm.
change. Politics
Yeah.
is system. So
And most people don't understand that you don't have to major in poli sci or whatever to make a change. You can just do it right then and there in your campuses, join your political groups. What are some of the groups that you can join on campus? Where can one start to kind of figure out if this is something that they want to get involved in more in?
I'll say SGA, and then you can do, if your campus have an NAACP chapter, but start with SGA. That's the main thing. That's the main organization. But also,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta go and look at what organizations on your campus. Like, every school is different. Every school is not a utopia or one size fit all. So you just gotta go see what's on your campus, and then make your decision from there.
I know our SGA groups, they're pretty powerful from the state schools to the four-year university and to our HBCUs. They have so much power. The student government, associations groups that are on campus might have other subgroups such as, ones for LGBTQ, those for BSU and other initiatives that they want to make sure that are represented on the campus. So that's a good advice. Check in with your local school, resources, and then make sure that you're a part of it. And then I like to look at the community outreaches that are in the neighborhood that you are living in.
Right.
What's happening in your city? What's happening in your city that you live in? Like, go to their city council meetings and just listen and see what's affecting what grocery stores are going to be put in your neighborhood. What new stadiums are going to possibly be built, and that means you might have to move or your taxes might go up.
Right.
Those are things that are important to people who live in a community that may not, they get felt it after the aftermath, and you want to be a part of the process of the decision making. That's the key
Right.
thing, the decision making. So what do you want to share with our young people? Because I want to ask you a specific question related to our HBCUs. But what is the most important thing that you want to share with our young people today?
Really is just have an open mind. I mean, I think people people like try to make it complex. It's just get involved. It ain't nothing else to say. Like, get involved. Like, people try to make it too complex. Well, you got to do this. No, just get involved. Like, start somewhere. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Look at this fact that we have. We found this is something that's ongoing. The importance of supporting our HBCUs and advocating for funds from our state and federal governments. This dates back, of course, in 1990, and students at Tennessee State University were fed up with the conditions on the campus for years. They had complained about, vermin and other bad plumbing issues, poor lighting in the dorms, hot and cold, issues, not getting the temperatures right in the dormitories. And then the state representative, Harold M. Love Jr., who's still currently, I think he's still serving.
Yeah.
He questioned what the White House is doing and the conditions of the HBCUs and how endowments and scholarships that were lowered and that were deprived those students from getting certain levels of education. And he gave adoration to the HBCUs, saying, I will always be sure to applaud HBCUs that provide proper educations and graduate students and like, despite having lower funds. So we persevere. We're HBCUs, despite having lack of the necessities to even flip on a switch. There is so much that you have to do. What would you say about Tennessee and as an example of what they went through?
I mean, that's a everyday issue for all students. It's just not a Tennessee thing. I mean, students at HBCUs are facing inequities across their campus, whether they want to talk about it or not. But a lot of HBCUs are underfunded. So when you underfunded, there's some areas that are going to be, you know, not invested in. So they have a right because students are paying tuition. So we students keep the lights on. Students are making sure that the administration have jobs. So if there's something that comes up, you gotta don't let it happen to you. You just gotta, you know, get with SGA or get with student leaders who can help you, you know, voice what you have going on or how you feeling. I think again, I say this all the time. So many people feel that their voice is not valued, that they just stay quiet and allow what to happen to them instead of making it an issue and bringing about change. They just let it happen to them. So.
And I know you're going to have to leave soon, but we want to make sure that we wrap it up in a profound way. The most impact that I think that I've seen on your behalf is that how easy it is to talk to people, especially if you know exactly what you're saying. If you know what you're saying and you have some type of validity, you're valid, you have some truth behind it, some facts behind it, then your voice has even more power.
Right.
We must encourage our young people to watch the news, and then from the news, research the facts.
Yeah.
And have conversations that are not just about criticizing, but also about solutions, having solutions to problems and being thorough in how you identify these things. What could you say about just those types of things?
I'll say first, it starts with having a mind wanting to stretch beyond what you know, because it can be easy to be content. And I think when the news is content, the news is really content. Like it comes on and it share you information. But if you don't go beyond that contentment, you will, stay stuck in a system of just not knowing, of the ignorance. And so I look at it like, if you see something that you're interested in or come about, go research it. And then if it's something that's in your neighborhood or in your community, reach out to the city council or the alderman or the person that's representing you or representing the bill or whatever's going on, the resolution, and talk to them. So I think every state, but a lot of things too, every state is different. So everybody just got to start from somewhere. You just got to look up like, who is my elected official in my city. So that's pretty much how it goes. I mean, it's not hard. It's just people need to know the processes and the steps. And I think that's what we are going to bring to the Black College Expo and the Power Your Voice seminars. Making sure we bring people in who represent people.
So what's next for Miss Tamara? What do you have next in your, not, you don't have to tell me your agenda, so to speak, but what are your 2 to 5 year kind of like, what's your goals? So people.
It's ever changing. Because, I mean, I'm not a box. So I don't put myself in a box. So it's ever changing. That's how I look at it. Because I can do everything.
And your final words, what would you like to see our future of our country for our young people be?
Say that one more time.
What would you like the future of our country to be for our young people? What would you say? will be your
I would
final words
say
for that?
prosperous, innovative, and substantial change.
Mm.
Yep.
Well, that's
Yep.
good. Thank you. Well, I'll see
Just
you
got you, my sister. I'll see you in North Carolina.
I'll see you in North Carolina, in
I-
Charlotte.
All right, well,
Yes, we're gonna be making some change makers. We're gonna make it rain. Thank you for
all right.
joining us.
All
And
right. Love y'all. Be safe. Come by our seminar in North Carolina. We're gonna make sure that you leave away with some great tips, tools to be that change maker that you wish to become. And you got a village behind you.
I love it. Thank you so much. We're gonna close her out. Thank
All
you,
right.
Tamara. I'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon. All right.
And that was Miss Tamara. We are just going to share real quick what our North Carolina event is. Let me get myself off of there. You can see it live and in living color. If you see the address there, you register on our website to come and join. We want to really serve our demographic as best as we possibly can. We want to make sure that you are getting all your resources, excuse me, and your tools met wherever you're at, whatever city we're in. We just left Miami. Before then, we left Oakland, and it just keeps on going. And we're closing out in Chicago in April. So I'm super excited. As you can see, I lost my breath. But before we end today's session, today was a quick one because our special guest, she's pretty busy. Excuse me. But one thing I want to leave with you guys is that it's important to look around and see the journey that you're going to take. And that it might not be exactly what you thought when you came into college, when you first graduated from high school, and then when you moved on to college. The world is way different than your high school years. And if you decide to work in corporate America or to be the first trailblazing out of poverty or whatever the first is in your first pathway, you want to make sure that it's not just about you making it, it's about your community. It is about your representation of who you represent culturally and your integrity box. It's very important that you have integrity in everything you pursue. So please, if you are going to be social active, political active, make sure you have integrity in that walk, because anger is not the only voice that should be heard. It should be passionate. It can be empathetic. It can also be conscious of who you're talking to and how to speak to them. So read a lot, listen to the change makers who came before you, listen to people like Tamara Bates and some of our team members who travel. They will see, they will show you, they will tell you their stories on, you know, how it took them years and sometimes even months to even make a difference. But it still is an inch versus just sitting still, not doing anything. I was involved in high school in my student government. It was rewarding. In college, I was really focused on graduating, but I still joined local, was active with my voting, was active with learning about initiatives. You can start small. If you want to get into politics, if you want to be a social activist, it really does start with the power of your vote. That adds to the power of your voice. And sometimes people say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't vote. It doesn't matter if you don't do anything about it, because then you'll never see the real change. It matters when you actually stand up and say that I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to make this happen. I don't want to keep us too much longer, but I definitely want you guys to pay attention to what's happening in our news and to start making some changes in your own community, even if it's a simple one, even if it's just a simple thing, just by talking about it and talking about it with solutions. Thank you. And thank you for joining us for today. This was a brief Elevate Your Game. Next week, we're going to have our Entrepreneurs Academy. Super excited. We're going to have a special guest, an entrepreneur who I'm super excited to meet him. He's one of the youngest entrepreneurs I have and who has a huge deal with Foot Locker. And we're going to be sharing his wonderful opportunities that he had and how he got there. And we're also going to have a special guest to talk about the process of setting up a business. And we're going to close out this month strong and then welcome in the March with some awesome more resources. Thank you again for joining us. This is Elevate Your Game. My name is Mrs. Denise Parker, and we're here to support you and see you through college, careers, and beyond.